My name is Drew Petersen, and I am a skier. I was born to be a skier. I've been a skier my whole life.
I am on a trip to ski the highest peak in every state in the American West, 11 peaks in total. These mountains will range from the highest point in the contiguous U.S. to below sea level, and from some of the most popular mountains in the country to some of the most obscure and remote. It is a way to see what makes the West, my homeland, so special, so wild. Along the way, I am road tripping in my truck, embracing the open road. Each mountain, though, demands its own process. Camping at the base, route finding, and ultimately climbing to the top under my own power, all to ski an amazing run back down. As a skier, as a young person, and as a lover of life, one of my ultimate dreams is to see the world, to ski the world, really. I want to travel with skiing as the vehicle for all sorts of amazing experiences around the world. But the reason I'm out here is to ski and see everything close to home. I've lived in the American West my entire life, but there's still so much that I haven't seen.
This is the last time that we were on the summit of Mount Elbert. How old are we, Grant?
This was September 2002. I was 10 and you were 8.
It's really special to be here with my older brother, Grant. It feels like things have kind of come full circle for both of us to be back here, just down the road from where we grew up and where we learned to ski together. It feels like this is what we're supposed to be doing with life, and we're having a really great time.
Currently, 3.5 hours of sleep after driving up from New Mexico last night and eating a gas station hot dog and taquito on the way, and having a beer right before bed. Some high performance athleticism.
Would you expect anything less from your brother?
No, that's about right. Maybe a little bit less, actually.
Really fun to be back home in Colorado today. It's really cool to be able to still go out there together and still link turns together. This is my big brother. Top of the world! Top of Idaho, at least, right?
Utah is where I now call home, and I have for about 5 years now. The Uintas are an untapped, bizarre mountain range that lies just east of the city. I haven't spent a lot of time out in the Uintas, despite calling Salt Lake home. It's realistically my backyard, so Kings Peak offered the perfect opportunity to get out there and experience what I've been missing. Even something that close to home can produce such an incredible experience, way out there, away from civilization.
We're up here about 13.7 and it's just too late in the day. Not super confident with the route, so it's time to turn around. But at least we get a pretty sweet view. And It's been a hell of a day.
Has been. The mountain will be here waiting for us. Stick around.
As they say, the decision to not go is never wrong. So now we're gonna focus on safely skiing down this and have a good time.
My friend Zach and I hopped in the truck and drove down to Oregon that night. On the drive down, we were reflecting on Rainier, and Zach and I talked about how we were really happy that we made the decision to not go for the summit, to turn around. Just to share that sentiment that we don't want to die in the mountains, that making a safe decision is worth a lot more than going to stand on a summit or going to ski a line.
Hey Zach! Hold up right there! This isn't right, man!
The exit to the line didn't look like it should, so we decided to turn around. We made what I would normally call the safe call, to turn around and hike off the line and go ski something else.
And if you've ever heard rockfall, you know. Fuck.
What? Dude, we gotta get the fuck out.
A rock fell from directly above and hit me in the back of the head. Fortunately, I was wearing a helmet, but it also hit me in the middle of my upper back and on my left arm.
This is way too much blood to be anything else. Get this on my arm.
Yep.
Tight as you fucking can. I told Zach we needed to put a tourniquet on my arm.
I'm sorry, dude.
Remember just telling him, yo dude, keep talking to me. I'll tell you that I'm behind you, but don't stop. Keep going, but I'll be there. We just have to get off this. Zach, I love you, bro. We're gonna fucking do this. My legs and my right arm were doing great. And I knew that they were gonna get me off that mountain. The doctors came back and told me the results of the images. And the first news was that my neck was okay. My C-spine was clear. And then the rest of my back was okay. And then the craziest thing was that my arm was okay. No fractures or breaks or anything. I just broke down crying that I was okay. And it was such a relief to be able to tell my family that I was okay. I've gone over this story countless times. Gone over it alone in my head. Probably too many times. When I come to the end of this story, I end up at this point where I have to ask myself these questions. Why am I alive? Why did I live through that? Why or how did I get so lucky? There aren't answers to those questions. And that's the way it should be. I was in the absolute darkest, lowest place I can imagine. There was one night that I remember very distinctly where I just couldn't fall asleep. My mind was just racing with the idea of skiing. Pretty forefront in my mind were these peaks that we still had left that we had set out to ski. Especially Gannett. There was just a fire in my heart again that I knew I needed to be out there. We saddled up and went back into the mountains because that's what felt right. We are in the Wind River Range in Wyoming, about to walk an insane amount of miles to go ski Gannett Peak, and we're carrying a bunch of heavy things and I'm not wearing pants, so it's gonna be a good time. Gannett was definitely a challenge in terms of getting back in the mountains and working through the mental blocks to travel through the mountains safely again. and it was really cool to get to be out there in the Wind Rivers. Some of the most incredible mountains I've ever seen anywhere in the world, not just in the US. It was just inspiring to see these mountains again, and mountains are where most all of my inspiration in life has always come from. So I felt like I got another little shot of that.
After Granite Peak up in Montana was, technically speaking here, the last peak on the list. It was the first time I ever had to bring bear spray to go skiing. Once we were up high enough to the south, we could look into Yellowstone. It's just really special to still be able to see and feel those places in the American West that are that untouched, that wild.
On Granite, we ended up a little bit off route, and so we opted to climb a cool wire and then hopefully climb the ridge from there. When we topped out on the cool wire, it was very clear that that route just was not going to work. So it made the decision really easy. Just turn around, go ski it. For the last peak on the list, to be forced to turn around shy of the summit didn't feel wrong at all. It felt right, actually. I felt like that was maybe better for me. It's really good to know that you can turn around. It's an important skill to practice. After Granite, though, it didn't feel like it was over. And so I hopped in the truck again and I started driving west. I didn't have this mindset of going back there to find closure or to lay any demons to rest or have some epiphany by going to climb the mountain again. I just felt like I needed to go back. I think it's human nature to always strive for the summit and to always want that to be your goal and what tells your story.
But going to stand on a summit isn't what was going to show me what life was about. It's about working through the process. There were obviously some highs and lows, but to go through it all and to really get beat down showed me a lot more about myself, about the mountains, and about how I want to live my life. Traveling through the mountains, safely, skiing, having fun, and really enjoying the entire process. I think I definitely found the beauty and the power of the American West through the way this all happened.